David Morgan of themorganreport.com. We're doing a backstage interview with David Wolfin of Avino Silver. David and I have known each other for maybe too long. We have lots of stories we swap back and forth privately and sometimes publicly. David, it's good to have you. Just want to talk about kind of the backstage stuff. The biggest thing I got from the Metals Investors Forum, and thank you MIF for inviting me, especially as a keynote, was how you are very conservative and the company just grows organically. And you did a bit of a coup, meaning you got this asset from Coeur d'Alene and you basically paid 10 cents on the dollar. So could you go over that for us, please?
Sure. I was after Mitch Krebs for many years, and I thought it would be in reverse. I thought they would want Avino, but they've got their eyes on other projects. So we took a year to negotiate this. We ran metallurgical test work in our mill. It's very synergistic due to the proximity. So in the upfront consideration, including shares and cash, it's about 30 million. And total consideration is a bit more than that, but it's contingent on a few things, and people can get that information from our news release. But they paid $350 million in 2013 buying out Orco Silver. So basically we're paying 10 cents on the dollar. Or another way to look at it, we've got a new 43-101 with 135 million ounces. So that's 25 cents per ounce. So it really jumps our total resources from 100 million to 235 million. And another thing, we've cut down the resource. We're using 80 gram cutoff grade. They used as low as 25. If you go that low, they have 265 million ounces just on their property alone. But they were considering an open pit mine, which is very expensive, and so they realized that the operational synergies with Avino is better than what they were considering. So that's how we were able to be successful.
Excellent, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
It 135 silver or silver equivalent?
Silver equivalent, but it's like 90% silver.
Okay.
And there's there's nothing else in there. There's no copper, lead, or zinc. It's pure silver.
Yeah. I wanted to get that on the record because, as we both know, there's some companies that talk about being a silver mine, and really they're a zinc or a lead mine. They talk about silver equivalent, and most of my audience would know what that is, but not everybody. So thank you for that.
Sure.
Well, moving on, I'm going to give you a little bit of a tough one here. There's all kinds of consternation, I like the word, or surrounding the geopolitical environment. I won't even talk about health, although that's what I'm referring to. But geopolitics affected everything. And one of them, of course, has been recent with Peru. I think they've shut down, rumor at least, a couple of Hochschild's mines, a couple of minor ones. And they always get these questions from time to time about how safe is this jurisdiction or that jurisdiction. I know the Fraser Institute publishes a study every year, and they give their analysis of, the safest jurisdictions, et cetera. I read it, I buy it. Don't always agree with it, but I've often said that I think, Mexico's the place to be for silver almost always, and you've been there for a long time. So could you just give me a kind of a broad brush, idea of what it's like to mine in Mexico and what your thoughts are going forward?
Well, we don't have any problems. Everyone's pro-mining in the state of Durango and the local communities. I understand the president's left wing, but and has mentioned not granting new permits, but existing mines are fine. And that's another thing Coeur saw, was that they weren't going to get a new permit to build a giant mine next door. And so we can permit it in 3 or 4 months to do another underground mine and just truck the ore over. So we're thrilled about our position, not worried about the federal government. We've been there a long time, and we'll be there for a lot longer. Now with this new acquisition, it adds millions and millions of tons, like about 30 million more tons. We've already got 25 million. So we're going to be looking at optimization and expansion opportunities, which we control. We control our growth organically. It's just time and money to build a larger mine.
Very good. Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Another one that comes up, of course, is kind of the hot seat question. What's the price of silver going to be? January 1st, 2024, whatever. But going a little bit beyond that, I do want your impression about silver going forward. But I also would like to have you reiterate what some of your shareholders know about. I think it's Samsung that has a direct offtake
Yeah.
agreement with you. Could you go through that a little bit?
Well, we paid them off. So they gave us 10 million to build circuit number 3. That's paid off this year. We're debt free. We still have 2.5 years in our contract to deliver to them. And so, yeah, they want as much material as they can get. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And with regards to silver, where it's going, with all the government saying net carbon emissions by 2050, where do you think silver is going? There's not enough mines to handle all the cars and solar panels. It's going to go through the roof because there's not enough metal being produced to meet that demand.
I don't want to cut too much into your time. I'll try and be brief. I did a recent analysis for the Load Project, which is a silver-backed crypto. And I came to the conclusion that there isn't enough silver to build enough solar to power the homes in the United States, let alone the industry in the United States, because the industry is about 2/3 more of a requirement than the residential sector. So this idea that we're just going to go solar is fine if you don't have to use silver. But if you are using silver, forget about it, at least under current conditions. So well said, and I'll back you up on that. We don't have a lot of time on these backstage things. Thanks again for the support you've given me, and hopefully I've been helpful to you over the years. And it's always been fun to be with you. I'd like to ask: is there anything that we haven't talked about, silver, Avino, or politics, even that you would like to say to our viewers before we close out?
No, just that the companies that have the largest endowment of metal is going to have the most leverage when it starts to move again. And you saw what Avino did on February 1st when the Reddit army had the silver squeeze. We traded 129 million shares that one day on New York. So imagine what's going to happen next year when we close this deal and we more than double our resources. We're going to be of the silver junior producers, we'll have the largest endowment of measured and indicated silver resource, pure silver resources, than any of our peers. So there's a clear path to growth and a re-rating for the company.
Let me publicly acclaim great going, because mines are not easy. Mining isn't easy, and it doesn't fall in your lap. There's a lot of work, as you said on this interview. It took at least a year of negotiation with Krebs and others from Coeur d'Alene, and you put it all together and it happens. So I know what it takes. Having been the CEO of a very small royalty company, there's a lot to it behind the scenes that we really don't discuss in public. So hi ho silver away, David. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. And looking forward to seeing you in person in the near future.
Me too. Thank you very much.